Clint Guidry is with us. He is the acting president of the Louisiana Shrimp Association. LouisianaShrimp.org is the website, and Clint was the subject, or the opening framing story of a new article by Dar Jamail titled "Hell Has Come to South Louisiana." Clint, welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am well, and I hope you are. I know that the people in the Gulf, many of them are not.
Well, I hadn't been well for over 80 days now since this thing been blowing out, Tom.
Yeah.
And it's really hell. It's what it is. I'm 62 years old. I've never seen nothing like this in my life.
Well, my question for the day, Clint, is what the hell's going on in the Gulf? I feel like we're only getting half the story. It seems like there's a conspiracy of silence between the Obama administration and the oil companies, and I'm a guy who is a supporter of Barack Obama, by and large. I mean, I'm critical of some of his policies, but I'm a Democrat, and yet it seems that nobody wants to acknowledge how horrible this is. Nobody wants to really help out the people on the ground. And is my perception off on this?
No, not at all. I've had meetings with 4 of the cabinet members: Salazar, Napolitano, Secretary Locke, and I've met with Lisa Jackson, and it's pretty much Gulf speak. If you familiar with George Orwell. It's the same. It's an administration policy, and I've run across roadblocks and some of the most simplest things. I've also have a lot of experience. I've worked as a brown root superintendent in refineries, and I know a lot about chemicals and chemical hazards and all that. Mm-hmm. And some of the things that I'm seeing out there, this has been one of my biggest battles. Yeah. Trying to get people protected. And they have people admit that there is a danger, and it's one of the. It's just got me befuddled. I don't know, other than what you said, conspiracy, cover up, Coast Guard's involved in it, a lot of the government agencies. I testified yesterday a little bit in front of this White House commissioners meeting in New Orleans. Yeah. And that was one of the things that I said. The first response was, other than chopping the head off the MMS, agency leader, nobody's lost their job over this, and they said the same people that caused the problem. How can you deal with a policy that hasn't changed that caused the problem are going to come down and solve the issue? Right. We had a meeting with people in Houma at the Unified Command Center, and it just left me with the feeling that it's either cover up or they're just this goddamn ignorant. I don't know,
Well, I think it's the former, frankly, Clint, but because the Obama administration doesn't want to end up with the Katrina kind of egg on their face that George Bush did. They don't want to look like they didn't do anything right. And BP, of course, wants to minimize it as much as possible because there's I think it's $4,800 a barrel, clean water fine for every oil. The more that they can hide this oil with dispersants and just hide the whole thing, the better for them. And it just. And the people caught the crosshairs are guys like you. We're talking with Clint Guidry. He's the acting president of the Louisiana Shrimp Association and a shrimper himself. LouisianaShrimp.org, the website. Clint, particularly in Louisiana, you've got a lot of folks, whether it's Bobby Jindal or whether it's Mary Landrieu or others, who are gung ho, hell bent for leather in favor of helping and doing everything they can to help the oil industry down there, because the oil industry actually represents at least 100,000, maybe 200,000 jobs in that state, just like, shrimpers represent a lot of jobs in that state. And there's clearly a dynamic tension between the people who are in the fishing industry and the people who are in the oil industry. Is this... when, for example, in the Pacific Northwest 10, 15 years ago, when it became, is it going to be the spotted owl or the loggers, it basically turned into a war between brothers. I mean, local people fighting each other. Is that kind of thing on the horizon, or is that even happening in Louisiana?
Well, personally, I've worked both different times in my life. I worked for all industry. I'm a third generation fisherman. My father never held another job in his life. He was a commercial shrimp fisherman all his life. Uh-huh. And basically, you have families where you have one son working as a fisherman and the other son working all his life for all industry. Right. And that's the way it's been in the state of Louisiana for as long as I can remember. I'm 60 years old. Yeah. And like I said, it is if we're going to wean ourselves off oil, we just can't do it overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people affected.
What do you think about, we just have a half a minute left here, we're talking with Clint Ginry of the Louisiana Shrimpers Association. What about if we did like Norway did and just said, you know, guys, this oil is ours. You companies, you're out of here. We're going to pump this oil. It now belongs to the people.
I think you're talking revolution, Tom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Norway is not a revolutionary country.
Hey, I'm a radical person. I'm with you.
Good. Obviously Hugo Chavez did this, but Mexico has done that. They're our ally. Norway did this. Saudi Arabia did it.
I've been saying it from the beginning. We're just doing that. It's just nationalize everything.
There you go. Well, not everything, but at least our natural resources. I don't want the government making my shoes, but, you know, or for that matter, doing the shrimp.
I don't want them catching my shrimp.
That's right. There you go. I don't want them doing the shrimping either. There's a lot of things for private industry, and you're doing a great job. Clint Ginry, check out the website, louisianashrimp.org, the acting president of the Louisiana Shrimp Association. Thanks for dropping by, Clint.